Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, May 24th, Rosh Chodesh Sivan, Chodesh Tov, everyone. It is the 45th day of the Omer. I hope everyone had an enjoyable Shabbos in the rain as we stayed inside and watched outside get soaked. As I mentioned, today is the 45th day of the Omer. We're going to go with something a little bit obscure today, since so many people have been watching the 10-part series on Michael Jordan, so then you would know that there was a time when Michael Jordan actually wore number 45 when he played baseball, but it was his childhood number, and even though we always identify him with 23, 45 nonetheless. And certainly it's probably been a great show for people to watch during this period. I know it's gotten a lot of play, so to say. Please continue to daven for Refuah Shalema for Mordechai ben Elka, Rabbi Zev ben Rickel, Gittel Basara, and for Noah Alice Bat Lilach Esther, and for all those who need a Refuah Shalema. Let's hope that with the new month of Sivan, with the holiday of Shavuos upon us, that it will bring good news that means that we can start getting back together, which right now I can just tell you that we are in the process of formulating a plan, working together with our government authorities, health authorities, and with our shul to figure out how and when we can best start to assemble in whatever form that may appear. Also, just please note, of course, that Shavuos is this week. There's no Tachnun this week because of the holiday of Shavuos, Shlosha Simei Hagbala Yom HaMiyuchas, and the schedule and the guidelines for Shavuos are found in the email below. We have other things coming up this week, but you'll hear about that more as we go on. Today, we have a Sunday edition. It seems that we say Sunday is a special edition, but we have one every Sunday, and the shul doesn't close, and the Torah learning doesn't stop. And I want to thank our sponsor today, Sharon and Josh Brickman, who are sponsoring in honor of a special birthday today for Mrs. Devorah Brickman, Josh's mom, and happy birthday. And one of the benefits of when you're a rabbi of a shul is not only do your congregants, they get to know one another, but you get to know their families as well. And it's been a privilege for me and for my family to get to know the Brickman extended family, so much so that when I was spending Shabbos off away at a different shul in the summer, and Josh's mom was there, she made sure to seek me out and to make sure that we said good Shabbos and that we studied together. And it's always a pleasure. And one of the few people that I will stop everything when she walks into shul to give her kavod, because first of all, anyone who can produce a son like Josh certainly is worthy of our honor. So happy birthday, Mrs. Brickman. You should continue to have many, many more birthdays in good health, enjoyment, nachas from your children and your grandchildren for many, many, many years to come. And I want to share this Mishna today in your honor, and something that's apropos, and particularly as it pertains to your beloved son, Josh. So we're in the 6th Perek of Perek Avos. And if you read all the commentaries, they'll tell you that the 6th Perek is not really part of Perek Avos. It was added sometime later. Why? How? It's an interesting question. It could be something just of logistics, because if they designated to study a chapter of Perek Avos, one chapter a week between Pesach and Shavuos, well, then they realized that there were 6 weekends, 6 Shabbatot. So if they would only have 5, what do we do? So it could be that they added this just to sort of make it the 6th, which is kind of an interesting reason of why we have something added to a body of study, just to make it convenient. But perhaps also the Perek focuses on the study of Torah, something called Perek Kinyan HaTorah, the acquisition of Torah, which is perhaps most apropos as we enter into the days before Shavuos, because the 6th chapter is always read right before Shavuos. And since on Shavuos we talk about and we celebrate accepting and receiving the Torah, so therefore we want to make sure that we are ready and understanding how it is that we can accept and receive the Torah, not just on Shavuos, but on a regular basis, and the manner in which we do so. So I want to go to the 3rd Mishnah. It's a stylistically very, very different from the other chapters. A lot of very long Mishnahs, and I want to touch upon something that's found in the 3rd Mishnah. Halomen mechavero perek echad, o halacha echas, o pasuk echad, o dibur echad, o afilo os echas, tzarech linhag bo kavod. If you learn from your fellow even a single chapter, a single halacha, a single verse, a single Torah statement, or even a single letter, you must treat him with honor. And the Mishnah gives a proof from King David and Achitophel. We are always a learning people. Now, one of the great things about studying Torah and learning Torah is that you can learn from anyone. And you can't think that, oh, just because I know a certain amount, that somebody who knows less than I do has nothing to offer. That's not true. As a matter of fact, the Gemara says in a couple of places, the Gemara says, Mi talmida yoser mikulan. And I'll share with you the whole expression where the Gemara says, one of the rabbis states that I learned a lot from my teachers. I learned more from my chavrusas, from my peers. However, from my students, I learned the most of all. Mitamidai yoser mikulan. Because the students always have the question that's unanticipated. The students always have a different perspective. They have a different angle. And a good teacher has to be able to learn from his students. A good teacher has to be able to say, you know what, you really opened my eyes and you enlightened me to something. And therefore, we have to give honor. I'll share with you a nice vignette that Rabbi Wein includes in his Perek Avos. And he says, I'm eternally grateful to my Irish spinster second grade public school teacher, Miss McCarthy, for teaching me how to read and write English acceptably, though I must admit that I did not appreciate her strictness and punctiliousness at that time. On a more serious note, it is said that the great Reb Chaim Soloveitchik, even after gaining enormous fame as one of the foremost Talmudists of the last century, still rose to his feet in honor of the relatively unlearned Melamed elementary school teacher who taught him the Hebrew alphabet. He said that everything he taught me has remained unquestionably true. An aleph is an aleph, a beis is still a beis, etc. Well, now I know that many of the Talmudic lessons that I learned from great scholars were in error. Thus, gratitude to all those who have taught us something new in life and in living deserve priority in Jewish behavior. So, I share with you this Mishnah because one of my best students over the last few years, who has taught me so much, and he's not going to like the attention, but so what? Josh Yeshua Chaim has been a wonderful, doesn't miss a shear, asks for extra work, and always remembers what I teach, and he always has tremendous insight, not for me, but for the whole shear and for everyone around us. And I know where that comes from. It comes from his beloved parents. Rabbi Brickman, Zichron Lavracha, the Badal, Mrs. Brickman, Devorah Brickman, I know that you've imbued your family with a tremendous love of Torah, a love of Yiddishkeit, and you've dedicated your lives to Jewish education. And that's something that deserves kavod, as the Mishnah says. It deserves a tremendous amount of honor. So on your special day, we want to thank you. I want to thank Sharon and Josh for, again, allowing the entire community to study Torah in these few minutes. And as we enter into the week of Shavuos, we should all fully accept upon ourselves what the Torah asks of us and the beauty that the Torah has to offer to us during this Perek of Kinyan HaTorah, during this week of Kinyan HaTorah. So again, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Happy, happy birthday, and many, many more. And we will see everybody tomorrow, God willing.